Basically, I had an addiction problem and needed help. I wanted to change my life, so I went to the Foundry.
You know, one of the things that I've seen, Chris, is the incredible potential that comes through the doors at the Foundry. Even though there's addiction and prison and all this bad stuff that goes with addiction, there's still a lot of tremendous men and women who come through the doors of the Foundry that have tremendous potential, and to watch the process of them going through the program and not only changing their life because they're overcoming addiction, but discovering their passion, discovering their purpose. It's just tremendous to watch the glow that comes into their face and into their hearts when they realize, maybe I don't have to be an addict, maybe I can rise above. And to watch that process, and we get to watch it for a year. I say the Foundry is God's cocoon for addicts, because they come into this facility like a caterpillar goes into the cocoon. And we get to watch the transformation for a whole year. And it's just tremendous to watch people like Scott Culverhouse, that when he came in, his life was messed up. He didn't know what he was going to do. He knew what he had been doing. But addiction will cost you a lot more than you think. And to watch somebody like Scott to come through the program and then to make that change from an addict to a non-addict, to make that change from somebody who is maybe irresponsible and not living up to their potential, to watching somebody rise above the situation that they came in with and then shining.
I made a decision when I went into the Foundry that I was done with heating and air. I was never going to do it again. I didn't care what I had to do, or as far as a job, I was just going to change careers and not do heating and air anymore. And so I was in that program, and about 9 months into the program, I was actually working at the thrift store in electronics. And Pastor Bill had got on stage the night before, on a Thursday night at church service, and brought up the fact that there was he told the parents, basically, we know you got people here in the program or whatever that you're here to see, and but if you have any extra money that you could donate, it'd be great, because the guy that's doing the heating and air for us here in the program told us that the system here at the church was bad, and it was going to be like $30,000 or $35,000 to replace it, and so any extra help would be great. And so the next day, on Friday, I'm at the thrift store and working. And Joey Godwin, who at the time was the men's intake coordinator, told Pastor Bill and Bobby Azar, Bobby Azar was the head of maintenance, and told them they needed to come get me and let me look at it, because it's all I'd ever done, and just let me see, like a second opinion, I guess, basically, of people in the program. So they called the store and came and got me, and I told them I'd look at it, and I went up there, and I think it was $3 or $4. I bought a couple of fuses, replaced some fuses, and that system is still running today. And so that rolled into everything was great with that. But then that Sunday, I was on a pass with Jace Lambert, who was the guy that kind of me and him started together, and so best friend in the world at the time and everything. And so we're on pass at his mom's, and Pastor Bill called and said that the air was out at his country club, at his golf course.
I remember the day I realized what his passion was all about. I was playing golf.
Of course.
And, well, of course I was playing golf. It was a Sunday, and the guys at the golf course knew what I did and knew who I worked with, and the air conditioning in the clubhouse went out. And they didn't want to pay some highfalutin air conditioning man to come in on a Sunday. And so they asked me if we had anybody. I said, we do. We've got somebody that I think is pretty sharp when it comes to heating and air. And I'll call him and see if he'll come over. And I got a hold of him.
That Sunday afternoon, we go meet Pastor Bill, go to the golf course. And so standing at one of the outdoor units, and I was explaining to Jace everything I was doing. Like, the voltage comes in from the disconnect, check your voltage, make sure you got voltage coming into the unit. Then it goes through a fuse block. Got to make sure you got it coming out of the other side of the fuse block, so you don't have bad fuses. And then you run it down. And I'm running everything down with him, why I'm doing what I'm doing and everything, and explaining it to him. And Pastor Bill was just standing there watching.
And I watched him take that unit apart and teach Chase how to do what he was doing. And it dawned on me, this guy has a gift.
The next day, Monday, Pastor Bill called me up to his office and asked me why I wasn't in business for myself. I said, well, Pastor Bill, probably because I had a drug problem and I'm in the rescue mission with no money right now. So
I had formed a company with another friend of mine. We called it B&B Enterprises. And we just did a little here and a little there just to make some extra money. But when I saw Scott do what he did, I approached him. I said, Scott, I don't know if you'd be interested, but Bobby and I would like to get involved with you in heating and air. Obviously, you know what you're doing, and maybe we can get some guys out of the program and you can teach them, and we can grow B&B into something that who knows what it can become.
You know, he asked me if did I have all the licenses and stuff to actually go into business, and I told him that I did. And so he basically said, look, you can run a DBA B&B Heating and Air under B&B Enterprises name, but it's on you. You got to just go make it happen and find some work, do it, all of that. And so that is how B&B was B&B Heating and Air was formed in the beginning. I was never going to do heating and air again, but Pastor Bill was somebody that will forever be a huge part of my life, and somebody that believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself at the time. And so opened up, God used him to open up a door. And I'm sitting there the whole time going, man, I didn't want to do heating and air anymore. Are you serious? And because during that time at the Foundry, that's where I actually had my encounter with Jesus. And so from that encounter moment, man, life just began to change like crazy all the time. And so then he opens this door up for me to stay. I've always loved doing what I do. And so
it's my gift, if it's anything, it's encouraging people to become what they haven't become yet. And when I saw Scott and I saw the potential, the thing of it is, everybody has been created with a purpose. And when that purpose meets that passion that God put inside of somebody, and then they take the potential that's inside of them, purpose plus passion plus potential can be explosive. And that's what's happened to Scott. He came in and went through the program, paid his dues, learned how to not do what he used to do, and then he just took off. And to see him today in the place that he's at, he's doing his thing.